Understand.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon, Ms. Grace. Can you give me the SAP reset date, please?
Yes, sir. It's gonna be 7:30.
7:30, thank you.
You're welcome.
And let's see, Officer Melton, can we just get everyone there so we can see if we can get started? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. If you have an objection to your case being heard by video, please let me know when you come before me. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. We are providing you with the assistance of a public defender today if you choose to utilize their services. Who do we have first there at ACDC? Officer Melton?
Position number 6, Ms. Jacqueline Chapman. Ms. Chapman, come on up. Have a seat, please.
And let's see who's representing Ms. Chapman.
That's my case, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Cook. Good afternoon, Ms. Chapman. You've been charged in case 24 CR 004683D with simple battery family violence. Is there a history? Ms. Roberts, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Only one prior arrest from 2010 for criminal trespass. The disposition was not on docket. Signature bond through the jail was pre-trial recommendation, and nothing further.
Good afternoon, Ms. Essiano.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This incident took place on July 13th, 2024. Officers were dispatched to 904 United Avenue in regards to an MH type crisis. When the officers arrived, crisis intervention was also on scene. Apparently, they advised that they needed a police officer on scene in order to do an assessment because the defendant was being violent. The victim in this case is her mother, Nancy Trice. She states that she and her daughter were arguing and her daughter grabbed her hair and her daughter would not let go of her hair until her other son came and got her off. Our office has talked to the victim today. She states she's the mother. They live together at the incident location. She confirmed the events in the warrants. She stated that this has been an ongoing issue with her daughter for years. She stated that she called crisis intervention to try to get the defendant some help. She said there is some MH issues, but there's no official diagnosis. She would like an MHET, and she's okay with contact and okay with the daughter returning to the residence. Our office is asking for an SOB through pretrial, no further violent contact with the victim, an MHET, and no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And I believe Ms. Trice is on the line.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Trice. If you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. I will need for you to activate your camera, unmute yourself, and I'll have to swear you in if you choose to address the court. You, of course, do not have to. Okay, Mr. Cook.
Your Honor, we would have no objection to the recommendation. We would prefer it be through the jail. Also, I do know just from talking to the folks who do these evaluations with misdemeanors, they always want us to start out with a BHET, and then if that moves up and to the next level, they may look at it, but they're not inclined on misdemeanors to come out and do the MHAT immediately.
I would have no objection to a BHET instead of an MHET at this point, Your Honor.
So it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. no further violent contact with Nancy Trice, a social worker visit to conduct a BHET, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Chapman.
Thank you.
Who do we have next?
Next is position number 10, Portia Jackson.
Good afternoon, Ms. Jackson. You've been charged in case 24 CR 004684G with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
2 cycles, one out of Georgia, one out of North Carolina. The last arrest was out of North Carolina from May of 2022 for assault. That was a guilty conviction, and level 2 is pre-charge recommendation. Nothing further.
Graciano?
Your Honor, this incident took place on July 12th, 2024. Officers responded to a dispute at 1212 High Point Lane in East Point. The victim's name is Alexis Miller. She advised that she and the defendant lived together. They were arguing when the defendant struck her in the face, leaving a cut on the left side of her face. Our office has not been in touch with the victim today. Your Honor, the assault conviction that is from North Carolina, I'm showing that was a guilty in 2023, and it was an assault to inflict serious injury. In light of her history, the state's asking for a $2,500 good bond, no further contact with the victim, stay away from the incident location, 2 days of anger awareness, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond, and if we could sound for Ms. Miller.
If Ms. Miller is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Mr. Cook?
Your Honor, we would be seeking a signature bond through whatever level the court deems appropriate. My client has lived in the area about a year. She works a braiding hair. They do live together, so this is also her residence. She has some children that have been living at that residence, but I believe they're currently living with her sister. I was not able to get in touch with the alleged victim, so I don't know exactly what her position is on getting back together. Beyond that, with nothing further.
Okay, it'll be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Alexis Miller, stay away from the 1212 High Point Lane address. She can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that she might have there. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Jackson.
Thank you. Sorry, Judge, what was that amount?
A $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2.
Next, we have position 12, Ms. Jeffries.
Good afternoon, Ms. Jeffries. You've been charged in case 24 CR 004687C with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
I'm showing 44 cycles. Last arrest was April of 2022 out of Cobb County for possession of cocaine. That case was not prosecuted. A 2021 theft by shoplifting conviction, a 2014 theft by shoplifting conviction, a 2017 conviction for driving without a valid license, 2007 theft by shoplifting conviction, and then 94 theft by shoplifting, 92 DUI, 83 theft by taking, and an FTA from 2014. Level 1 was pre-trial recommendation. Nothing further.
Good afternoon, Ms. Dunlap.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. So this incident took place on July 12th, 2024 at 3268 Stacy Lane in East Point. Officers responded to a domestic dispute when they're approaching the victim and Miss Destiny Davis, who is the defendant's granddaughter. They were having a verbal dispute and the defendant raised her hand and slapped Miss Davis on her right arm twice. Defendant appeared to be very intoxicated and had a strong odor of alcohol, according to officers. The state's recommendation is a signature bond through pretrial, no further contact with the victim, Destiny Davis. Stay away from 3268 Stacy Lane Family Violence Intervention Program, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. Our office did have a chance to speak with Miss Davis and I believe her mother, who stated that they were in the process of filing an eviction they were okay with no further violent contact, but given this was only, it looks like maybe 3 days ago, we're still requesting no further contact, and we can sound for Ms. Davis when appropriate.
Ms. Destiny Davis is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Mr. Cook?
Your Honor, my client is 64 years old. She has lived in this area her whole life. This is her residence, 3268 Stacy Lane. She denies the allegations as stated in the warrant, but if we take the allegations as solid gold, it appears to be 2 slaps on somebody's forearm. I would hate to force her out of her home. Obviously, if there's a process for eviction going on, if that continues, okay, but we would certainly be looking for no further violent contact, an ability to go home, and a signature bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate.
It would be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Destiny Davis, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Jeffries.
Thank you. Honor,
Yes.
FYI, position 18, I believe, is Ms. Penn. That's medical reset for Ms. Penn.
Position number 18, Ms. Penn, will be reset until 7/16. Okay,
Thank you. And that's it for ACDC, Your Honor. Thank you for everything.
okay,
Bye.
very good. Have a good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Who do we have in courtroom 2?
Before we begin, position number 16 is waive their appearance.
Okay,
Position number 17 is a medical reset.
16 is a waiver, 17, Oulette, is a medical reset until 7/16 tomorrow. Okay,
And we'll start with position number 3.
okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Bowles. You've been charged in case 24 CR 004681C with simple battery family violence. Is there a history? Ms. Roberts?
Yes. Position.
Position number 3.
Your Honor, this is also a dual arrest case with Montanez Gates.
Yes,
fir-
we represent we represent Gates, and I believe Ms. McLeod was talking to Mr. Bowles.
Yes, I represent Ms. Bowles.
Okay.
First arrest. I'm
Say it
sorry.
again. Go ahead.
First arrest, level 1 is pretrial recommendation.
Okay. And is courtroom 2, is Mr. Gates in the courtroom with you? No? Okay. We'll get to him when we get to him.
We can bring them out. Do you need us to bring them out?
Let's finish with Ms. Bowles. I mean, since it's the same occurrence, so that we can keep things moving along. If we want to do him right after we do Ms. Bowles, if you all can get him then, that might be helpful.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yes, Ms. Desiano.
Your Honor, this incident took place on July 13th, 2024. Officers were dispatched to 2524 MLK Junior Drive, apartment 5301, regarding a dispute. Upon arrival, they made contact with Michael Bowles, who's also known as Alexis Bowles. She stated that she and her ex-boyfriend lived together. They got into a fight. She accused him of cheating on her, and he punched her in the face. The officers then made contact with Montanez Gates, who stated that Ms. Bowles started the argument, accusing him of cheating on her. She was near the closet. He got up to confront her, and she pushed the closet door to hit him, and they started fighting, and Ms. Bowles bit him on his middle finger. There was another witness that was present in the apartment during this altercation. However, according to his statement, all he saw was he heard a bunch of arguing, and then he went to intervene, and he saw both parties fighting each other. The officer couldn't determine who the primary aggressor was, so he arrested both parties. The state's recommending, as it relates to Ms. Bowles, a signature bond through pretrial. I will defer to the court as far as contact and stay away. taking complete 1 day of anger awareness, and no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And that's it.
Okay. Yes, good afternoon, Ms. McLeod.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. We are okay with the signature bond through pretrial. My client would like no further contact with the alleged victim. This is her home, Your Honor. So we would like her bond condition to be that he has no further contact with her.
As such, it will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 day anger awareness, no further contact with Montanez Gates, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Bowles.
All right, next we have position number 8, Mr. Gates.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gates. You've been charged in case 24CR004691J with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
First arrest, level 1 is pretrial's recommendation.
Anything to add, Ms. Desiano?
No, Your Honor, the state's recommendation for this defendant would be a signature bond through pretrial. I guess no further contact with the victim and a stay away from the incident location, taking complete 1 day of anger awareness, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol out on bond.
Mr. Cook?
Your Honor, we would object to the anger awareness course. Other than that, we have no objection to the recommendation.
It'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Bowles, stay away from the 2524 MLK Junior Drive, apartment 5301 address. He can go back to that address on 1 occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Gates.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, what was that dollar amount?
$2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1.
Next, we have position number 1, Mr. Bacon. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bacon. You've been charged in case 24CR004679F with criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
15 cycles, 4 out of Georgia, 11 out of Ohio. Last arrest was April 2023 out of Monroe County for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and driving while license suspended or revoked. That case appears to be open. Has an open battery case out of Fulton County, 23CR004085J. A 2021 conviction for driving while license suspended or revoked. A 2013 disorderly conduct conviction out of Ohio, and then a 98 robbery conviction out of Ohio. And level 3 is pretrial's recommendation and nothing further.
Ms. Roberts, what was the case number to the open battery?
23CR004085J.
Thank you. Okay. Your Honor, I thought that battery was out of a different jurisdiction. I just want to confirm if it's the same victim, and it is. Okay. This incident took place July 12th, 2024 at 3035 Bayard Street in East Point. The victim, Charlene Harris, advised that the defendant is her live-in boyfriend. He was drinking. The parties got into a disagreement. She got into her car to de-escalate the situation when the defendant came out and cracked her windshield with his palm. The officer noted that the police have been called out several times to this incident location regarding these two individuals. Our office has not been in touch with the complaining witness today. There is an open battery case. It is the same victim. And the bond order in that case,
This route avoids a road closure on Paxton Lanes.
says he's supposed to have no further contact with Ms. Harris. So in light of that, Judge, the state would be recommending a $1,000 good bond, another no further contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location, taking complete 1 day of anger awareness, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. Our office has not been in touch with Ms. Harris, but we would sound for her at this time if she's on the Zoom.
What was the amount of the bond and who issued it?
It was you, and it was issued June 30th, 2023, and it was a $2,000 good bond.
Okay. If Miss Charlene Harris is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Okay, yes, good afternoon, Ms. Kim. You're on mute, Ms. Kim.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My client is expecting to have a surgery and MRI done very recently tomorrow. He's been going through a medical procedure because of his seizure, and because of his medical condition, we would like to request for a signature on bond so he can get released to take care of his medical needs. We have no objection to stay away and no contact with alleged victim, and he denies the allegation, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, he was previously ordered to stay away from that address in the battery case as well.
Right, and that concerns me the most, Ms. Kim, that I ordered him personally to stay away from her. Had he stayed away from her, he would not be in the situation that he's presently in. I issued him a $2,000 good bond on that previous matter. Apparently, he made that bond. He made that bond and then violated that bond. I'm not going to go backwards, so it's going to be a $3,000 good bond. No further contact with Charlene Harris. Stay away from the 3035 Bayard Street address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Did I require him to do any anger awareness, Mr. Essiano, prior?
No, you did not.
Okay, and he's to have 1 day anger awareness. Good luck to you, Mr. Bacon.
Thanks, Your Honor.
Your client has his hand up, Ms. Kim. Mr. Bacon, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. I'm sure that Ms. Kim will give you a call after this session is over if you'd like to speak with her regarding any other matters that have transpired today.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Who do we have next?
Next, we have position number 24, Mr. Wilson.
Ms. Kim, I'm sorry.
Yes, Your Honor.
If you want to present to the court any type of medical information that you have for Mr. Bacon,
Sure.
I'm happy to consider that. I'm not going to take him at his word, but if you can get some medical information that he is scheduled for surgery, I may reconsider the bond. Okay.
Sure. Thank you, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wilson. You have been charged in case 24 CR 004698E with simple assault, family violence, simple battery, family violence, and disorderly conduct. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
Yes. 39 cycles, 35 out of Georgia, 2 out of Florida, 1 out of Alabama, and 1 out of Indiana. Appears that last arrest was from March of 2023 for aggravated assault. Does appear to be on probation for that case. That probation is for aggravated assault and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, 23 SC 187263. The disposition was December of 2023. 1 year confinement, 9 years probation. Also appears to be on probation for cruelty in the first and battery family violence, 23 SC 189434. Disposition December of 2023, 5 years probation. a theft conviction in 2017 out of Indiana, a simple battery conviction in 2016, theft by receiving stolen property and willful obstruction conviction in 2015, possession of cocaine and willful obstruction conviction in 2009, simple battery 2007, a false imprisonment conviction in 2003, FTAs 2018, 2016, 2012, 2010, and then a 2017 FTA out of Florida, and nothing further. Level 3 would be pretrial recommendation.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Allen. Is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. One moment. This is an incident that occurred on the 12th of July. It's a simple assault. Initially, the victim in this case is Destiny Walker. She shares a child with Mr. Wilson. She and her mother, as well as I think 2 other witnesses, reported that the defendant had been drinking and became verbally aggressive. The victim, Mrs. Walker, and her 11-year-old daughter, Trinity Walker, retreated to the vehicle that they own, where while inside the vehicle, the defendant, Mr. Wilson, who is believed to have been intoxicated, began kicking the vehicle as they sat in it. He spat on the vehicle and threw objects and clothing for the child at the vehicle. When police arrived on the scene, they spoke to the mother of the victim. Her name is Nanette Frederick, who reported that she'd witnessed this incident. She witnessed the defendant spit on her daughter's face before she retreated into the car. As police were taking the defendant into custody, he attempted to spit on his mother-in-law, or the mother in this case, Nanette Frederick, and was verbally aggressive and disruptive on the scene. Let me make sure I give you the correct address. This incident occurred at 2311 Jernigan Drive, Southeast in Atlanta. So purposefully spitting on the victim, attempting to spit on her mother, kicking the car, making her feel like she was about to be injured and assaulted. She was inside the car with an 11-year-old child. You just heard a pretty substantial history. We would agree with the level probation is suggesting, and just request a $3,000 surety bond, Your Honor.
Broken down 1 per charge, 1,000 per charge.
Yes, please.
Okay. Ms. McLeod,
Stay away and no contact. I apologize.
and if Ms. Destiny Walker is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 42 years old. He shares 3 minor children with the alleged victim, and he tells me that he is the primary caretaker of these 3 children. He denies the allegations as stated in the warrant, Your Honor. My client tells me that he earns less than $1,000 a month, so it would be a hardship for him to pay a surety bond, given the fact that he has these 3 children that he takes care of. I believe I heard the trial say that he could have a signature bond at level 2. And if that is possible, that is what I would ask the court for. However, if the court believes that he should not have a signature bond, I would like the court to set as low a bond as possible. We would like him to be able to have communication with the children, because he tells me that he is normally the primary caretaker of these 3 children, Your Honor. So third-party transfer if the court decides that he should have no further contact with the alleged victim. Nothing further.
Ms. McLeod, do you know if your client and the victim are married? Are these children legitimated?
No, I spoke to him about that, but no, they are not married. But they've had a pretty substantial, history together. They have 3 children together. I believe that the 11-year-old is also his child.
So, Your Honor, we would argue that until there's a legal right to visitation and custody of the children through some kind of order of the court of legitimation or custody or marriage, that not be addressed at this time.
Miss Allen, marriage is not what makes a father. It's involvement in the child's life. And my client tells me that he has been involved with these children substantially since their birth until the present. And we would not want to deprive the
Ms.
children.
McLeod, I know what the law is. Thank you. I understand.
Anything further, Ms. McLeod?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
It will be a $500 good bond per charge, makes for a total of a $1,500 good bond. No further contact with Destiny Walker. Follow any pre-existing custody arrangements. If there are pre-existing custody arrangements, third-party transfer for visitation. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank
Good
you.
luck. Wilson. Okay, who do we have next?
Next, we have position number 7, Mr. Corey.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Corey. You have been charged in case 24 CR 004693A with battery family violence and simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
Only one cycle from November of 2023 for driving while license suspended or revoked. There was no disposition listed. Level 1 was pretrial's recommendation.
Okay. Ms. Allen? No?
I apologize, Your Honor. What number are we on?
Position number 7, Mr. Corey.
Lewis Corey?
Marlon Corey.
Marlon Corey.
One moment.
Your Honor, this is also a conflict, and I guess the cross defendant is Kiana Lewis. I believe Ms. McLeod has that.
Kiana Lewis was NOD'd.
She
Oh,
was
Correct,
in,
Your Honor.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
This is an incident. 1 second. Um,
You okay, Mr. Cook?
I'm fine. I'm
Okay.
fine. Thank you.
All right, you can continue, Ms. Allen.
No, I apologize. This is an incident that occurred on the 13th of July at 35 Terminus Place, number 2401. At about 4 a.m., 911 was called on a domestic disturbance with someone injured, and on scene, the defendant reported that his girlfriend came back from drinking and was intoxicated. He suspected she'd been unfaithful and went through her phone, and then said he found evidence of her cheating. He claimed that she became angry and threw items inside the home, and he tried to get her to leave, even though she lives there, and started putting items in the hallway. The defendant admitted that he struck the victim, in this case, Kiana Lewis, and pushed her outside of the location. He refused EMS, as did she. She was seen to have abrasions on her left arm and scratches to her neck near the front. She reported he'd grabbed her by her neck as he was shoving her out of the residence. We would ask for level 1 SOB, Your Honor, with no contact, no drugs, alcohol, weapons, and one-time escort if they do in fact both live at the location.
Okay, and this Kiana Lewis, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Lewis, if you're on the line and wish to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Mr. Cook, any objection to any of the state's requests?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, so for the battery, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the simple battery, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Kiana Lewis. Stay away from the Terminus Place address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck, Mr. Corey. Mr. Corey, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. Mr. Cook, would you like to address your client? I'm not sure if he has.
Mr. Corey, you've been given a signature bond. So you'll be getting out on your signature. I would say nothing further. You're where you need to be. You'll be able to go back to the location and get your possessions.
Okay, who do we have next?
Next we have position number 12, Mr. Black.
Position, say it again. Position 12 for me is Jeffries.
I'm sorry, position number 2. Yeah, position number 2. Mr. Cook, if you can give your client, Mr. Corey, a call. He's got a question he's got to ask you.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, sure.
Is this your client, Mr. Cook?
Who do we have in front of us now?
I think this is
position number 2. I'm sorry.
Black. Is this your client, Mr. Cook?
Oh, who is it? I'm sorry again, Your Honor.
Position 2, Mr. Black.
Yes, this is my client.
Okay. So good afternoon, Mr. Black. You've been charged in case 24CR004680J with simple battery. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
Yes, I'm showing 11 cycles, 1 out of Georgia, 1 out of California, 1 out of Texas, 2 out of Florida, 5 out of North Carolina, 1 out of South Carolina. Last arrest was from June 21st of this year out of the DFW airport in Texas for a liquor violation that appears to be open. Also appears to have an open case out of North Carolina from April of 2023 for second-degree trespassing. Has a 2023 trespassing conviction out of Florida, and then a theft conviction from 2024 out of Florida for burglary and theft, and 1 FTA from this year out of Florida. Level 3 is pre-trial recommendation, and nothing further.
Yes, Ms. Desiano.
Judge, this incident took place on July 12th, 2024. There was a fight call at 2959 Park Street, apartment 3 in East Point. The victim's name is Michael Crosby. He stated that the incident location is his apartment. He met the defendant that day and invited him to have dinner at his apartment. The parties were drinking and the defendant became disrespectful. The parties started arguing and the defendant pushed the victim. There's also an allegation in the warrant that the defendant pulled a knife on the victim. That was corroborated by a separate witness to this incident as well. However, there were no injuries. Your Honor, I don't believe this defendant has strong ties to Georgia. As you heard pre-trial stay, he has several cases from surrounding states, and the allegations in this case is that he met this person on this day and went to his house. I believe he's a flight risk, and he does have several open cases in other jurisdictions. The state would be recommending a $1,500 good bond, no further contact with Mr. Crosby, stay away from the incident location, taking complete 1 day of anger awareness, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. Our office has not been in touch with Mr. Crosby, but we'd sound for him now if he would like to speak, if he's on the Zoom.
Mr. Crosby is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Mr. Cook.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 28 years old. Is from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, but he's been staying recently with a relative and trying to find permanent location here in town. He is a canvasser, and works in the political system. So he travels around the country, working for various campaigns and parties. He was on his way to the airport when this incident occurred. He vehemently denies the charges, and of course he's missed his latest contract for his political work while in jail here at Rice Street. We would be asking for a signature bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate. Any other kind of stay away or no further contact is fine, but we certainly would like him to have some freedom of movement, given that this is the time of year when he makes his living.
Okay, it'll be $1,000 good bond, no further contact with Michael Cosby, stay away from the Park Street address, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Black. Mr. Cook, your client has his hand up.
Mr. Black, you have a $1,000 surety bond, which would not be too much to make. If you want to ask a question about the process, but don't get into facts of the case. Do you have a question about the process?
Oh, if I don't have family near, how will I bond out?
You can speak to him about that later, Mr.
Okay.
Cook.
Okay.
All right. He'll talk to you after court, Mr. Black. Good luck to you, sir.
And Your Honor, if it's easier because he's out of state, I would have no objection to converting it to a cash bond.
Okay.
What just happened?
I'll let Mr. Cook address that. So.
Next we have position number. Come on. What position is that? Your Honor, can we go back to position number 4? Position number 7, Mr. Corey. He's got a question.
Okay, again, Mr. Corey, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. Mr. Cook, you got to come online with me.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Corey, if you have a procedural question quickly, okay, but do not go into any facts regarding or surrounding the incident. What would your question be?
My question would be about the going back to the 25 Terminus Place address. It is my apartment, and I just wanted to let you guys know that it's backwards. She's the one who's moving out. I won't be moving out. I talked to someone earlier, and her parents are coming to pick up her belongings. That's the only thing.
Well,
okay, so I'll give him a one-time escort to go back to see if Miss Lewis is at the location. You necessarily can't be there, but if she has moved out of the location, you can move back in. Okay, so but you have to go with a law enforcement escort to determine that. Okay.
Yes, sir. That's fine. That was
Okay.
my question.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Corey.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Next we have position number 4, Mr. Brown.
Good afternoon, Mr. Brown. You've been charged in case 24 CR 004682F with battery, family violence, and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
6 cycles. Last arrest was from November of 2019 for battery, family violence, and criminal trespass out of Clayton County. That case was dismissed. Only 1 conviction from 2009 out of Ohio for receiving stolen property. Level 1 is pretrial recommendations, and nothing further.
Yes.
This is my case.
Okay.
Your Honor, this incident took place on July 14th, 2024. Officers responded to a dispute at 4040 Marshwood Trace. The victim in this case, Alicia Lambert, advised that her child's father was upset about some texts on her phone. The parties started arguing, and the defendant punched her in the forehead. This happened while it's unclear in the warrant, but one of the parties was holding their minor child, initials AB, during this altercation. The state is requesting in this case a $3,000 good bond, $2,000 on the battery, $1,000 on the cruelty, no further contact with the victims, stay away from the incident location, family violence intervention program, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond, and if the court can sound for Ms. Lambert.
Has your office spoken with Ms. Lambert?
I'm sorry, no, Judge, we have not gotten a hold of her today.
If Ms. Lambert is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Mr. Cook?
Yes, I was not able to reach Miss Lambert either. My client is 34 years old. He has lived here his entire life. He is a high school football coach, a college graduate. He vehemently denies the allegations, and we would be requesting a signature bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate, and no further violent contact. We would object to the FVIP. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, for the battery, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the cruelty, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. 1-day anger awareness. No further contact with Ms. Lambert. Stay away from the Marshwood Trace address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. Third-party transfer of any minor children for visitation, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. If someone hears from Ms. Lambert in the future and wishes to have a modification, depending on what she says, I'm happy to consider that, Mr. Cook.
Thank you.
Again, your client has his hands up. Mr. Brown, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you.
Mr. Brown, you have a signature bond. You sign your name and they'll process you out. Again, if you have an issue with procedure, fine, but you do not get into any facts or allegations of the case. You can just make a situation.
No, that's fine. All I'm saying is the 4040 Marshwood Trace, that's my house.
Well,
does Ms. Lambert live there?
Yeah, but she can
Okay,
leave.
well, and she's a resident of that house, and you
So
all are not.
where am I supposed to go, Judge? That's my house, and I pay all the bills.
Okay, until you all resolve this or we hear from Ms. Lambert, that's the order of the court. You're gonna have to find somewhere else to reside in the meantime.
All right, thank
Okay? You're
Your
welcome.
Honor, I just I'm sorry, I just got an email from our advocates that we have been in touch with her. She's essentially denying that anything happened. She wants contact with him. It's my understanding that she's recanting. The state would still request no contact given that she stated that she doesn't want to say anything that's going to get him in trouble. So I believe she's covering for him.
No, nobody's covering for me.
Mr.
That I didn't touch her.
Mr. Brown, please let me speak for you. Your Honor, in light of that, we would ask for no further violent contact and let him go back home.
Well, I find it concerning that one day someone's calling the police and having someone arrested, and the next day they're saying that it didn't happen. So unless she comes before me personally, I'm going to have my my ruling stand at this point in time. But as I said, if I can see Ms. Lambert in person, or if she wants to make a modification, I'm happy to consider it. All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Brown. Who do we have next?
We have a position number 5. Mr. Butler.
Good afternoon, Mr. Butler. You have been charged in case 24 CR 004685G with battery and simple battery family violence. Is there a history?
32 cycles. Last arrest was in 2018 for selling marijuana. There was time expired on that case. A 2017 disorderly conduct conviction, a 2013 DUI conviction, 2012 simple assault conviction, 2008 battery conviction, 2003 aggravated assault conviction, and then 2003 sale of marijuana conviction. Level 3 is pretrial's recommendation, and nothing further.
Your Honor, this incident took place on July 14th, 2024. Officers responded to a fight in progress call at 1856 Wells Drive, apartment 311 in Atlanta. The victim, well, there's 2 victims in this case. The first victim, Virginia Butler, is the defendant's sister. She stated that her brother got upset because she didn't make enough chicken for dinner. He started arguing with her. She immediately tried to de-escalate the situation and went to her bedroom. Then the brother kicked the door in. The victim's boyfriend got involved, who's the second victim in this case, Lee Mackey. He stood up in defense of Miss Butler, started arguing with the defendant when the defendant threw a vase at him. And the warrant does note that the Mr. Mackey had an injury above his right eye and right shoulder. Miss Butler, after the vase was thrown, Miss Butler intervened to try to defend her boyfriend, and the defendant bit her on the forearm. There was another witness to this incident whose name's Timothy Wilcox, and he confirmed that the defendant was the first aggressor. Your Honor, I understand that his violent history is older. However, it's troublesome to me that he's got 6 prior violent convictions in his history. The state would be requesting a $3,000 good bond in this case, $2,000 on the battery, $1,000 on the simple battery. No further contact with the victims. Stay away from the incident location. 2 days of anger awareness. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. Our office has not been in touch with either victim today. If you could sound for Mr. Lee Mackey and Miss Virginia Butler.
If Miss Butler or Mr. Mackey, if y'all are on the line and wish to address the court, now's your opportunity to do so. Mr. Cook.
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 40 years old. He has lived in, 59 years old. He has lived in the Atlanta area for 40 years. He is working a part-time job, so his income is very modest. He denies the allegations as stated in the warrant and states that the primary aggressor here was Mr. Mackey. We would be asking, given his modest income, we would be if a surety bond is necessary, we would like it as low as possible. This also is his residence, so we're asking for no further violent contact, nothing further.
His residence, but do either Miss Butler or Mr. Mackey live there?
It's my understanding that Miss Butler lives there.
Okay. For the battery, there'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3. For the simple battery, a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3. Makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3. 1-day anger awareness. No further contact with either Miss Butler or Mr. Mackey. Stay away from the Wiles Drive address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Butler.
We can go to Alpharetta Jail.
Okay, Ms. Kim, have you had the opportunity to
Yes,
speak?
Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
What is his name?
Mr. Ju. His first name is
Position 14, Tom Ju.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ju. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Let's see, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. We are offering you the representation of the Public Defender's Office today if you choose to utilize them. You have been charged, Mr. Ju, in case 24 CR 004694A with battery against a female who is pregnant and battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
First arrest, signature bond through the jail was pretrial's recommendation. Nothing further.
Okay, Ms. Allen.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an incident that occurred on the 14th of July at about 2:30 p.m. Police were called to 12205 Magnolia Crescent Drive in Roswell. Officer Shank of the Roswell Police responded. They spoke to the victim on scene. She reported that she is 12 weeks pregnant. Dispatch actually reported that a female had called 911, but they were unable to get her back on the line and could hear a man and a woman screaming in the background. The victim had visible marks on her forearms and reported that the defendant had begun throwing items at her in the location. He was upset with her. They were arguing, and in response, she started to record him with her phone. He grabbed her by her arms to try to take her phone from her and cause the marks on her arms. When police spoke to the defendant, he admitted that he grabbed the victim and reported that her recording him was a breach of trust and that he was upset about how inefficient their movement of things in the residence was. We would ask for a signature bond through pretrial, but also no contact, 1-day anger management, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. We have been in touch with the victim in this case, who reports that they are married and live together at the location. She reported that the behavior between the two of them has been escalating ongoing since the last period of time, that this is new, but things are getting worse, and she is concerned about her safety. And so we would request a one-time law enforcement escort if the defendant needs to return to the home.
What's her name, Ms. Allen? I'm sorry if I missed it.
No, I apologize. That's my fault. Her name is Shirley, Shirley, Zhang, Zheng.
Thank you. If Ms. Zhang is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is, he strongly prefers to have a no for the violent contact, and yet I try to reach Mrs. Shirley Zhang. I couldn't reach her, so I understand that if the court has to do no further contact and stay away from that incident location, he has no objection to that. Well, Your Honor, my client is actually a medical doctor. He's a spine surgeon, and he does have his house and strong ties to community with his own practice at Roswell, Your Honor. Well, we would like to request for UJR jail, which was recommended by pretrial, and yet if this is restricted, I believe this is restricted by SB 63, we would like to request for a $1 cash bond so he can be released. Thank you.
For the battery, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Battery against a female. For the second battery family violence, it'll be a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Zhang. Stay away from the incident location. He can go back there on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck.
Please do not say anything, Mr. Jew. You have a right to remain silent. You got the signature on bond. You will have a trial day.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
I'll be calling you. If you have any question, please, I will call you and you can ask me all the questions.
All right, next, position number 11, Mr. Jacobs.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jacobs. You have been charged in case 24 CR 004686Y with public drunk. Is it a history?
No.
Not.
5 cycles. Last arrest was from 2007 out of Clayton County for a probation violation. Underlying charge was an aggravated assault conviction from 2005, and then a 98 carrying concealed weapon, and then a 97 possession of marijuana, less than an ounce conviction. Level 2 is pretrial's recommendation. Nothing further.
Yes, Ms. Dunlap.
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident happened on July 12th, 2024 at 3072 Washington Road in East Point. That is Polaris Apartments. The security guard there, Brandon Perry, called officers to the location to report the defendant had been drinking an open alcoholic beverage on the premises of the parking lot property. Officers observed the defendant with watery eyes, a strong body odor of alcohol. And they also had asked the defendant if he'd been drinking. He admitted he had in a slurred speech, as well as there was beer by the defendant, which he admitted was his. The state is looking for a signature bond through pretrial, a stay away from the Polaris Apartments, and no drug, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
Mr. Cook.
Yes, Your Honor. given the nature of the charge, no problem with a stay away. But we would be seeking a signature bond through the jail.
It'll be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Polaris Apartments. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck, Mr. Jacobs.
Next, we have position number 13, Mr. Jones.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jones. You've been charged in case 24 CR 004688F with theft by shoplifting. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
8 cycles, 3 out of North Carolina, 5 out of Georgia. Last arrest was from 2007 out of North Carolina for a controlled substance. Wait, give me 1 second. I think I got the date incorrect. Nope, that was the correct date. From North Carolina from 2007 for manufacturing cocaine, a 1992 North Carolina conviction for larceny, 97 criminal trespass, 97 theft by taking, and then I'm showing a 2013 conviction out of North Carolina for possession, sell, deliver narcotics, and nothing further.
Yes,
Level 2 is pre-charge recommendation.
Okay.
So this incident happened on June 5th, 2023 at 800 Glenwood Ave Southeast. That's a Kroger. Defendant allegedly acted as a getaway driver for a woman whose identity is unknown at this time. She dashed out of a Kroger exit with a cart full of groceries. The defendant was identified through his vehicle tag number and initially denied knowing the female, then told officers she was a friend of a friend. The state is looking for a signature bond through the jail. Stay away from that Kroger at 800 Glenwood Ave Southeast, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while on bond.
Any objection to any of that, Mr. Cook?
No objection, Your Honor.
There'll be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Kroger on Glenwood Avenue, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Jones.
Next, we have position number 15, Mr. Key.
Good afternoon, Mr. Keith. You've been charged in case 24 CR 004689E with battery. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
27 cycles. Last arrest was from July 2020 for a probation violation. A 2018 battery family violence conviction. 2011 simple assault conviction. 2008 and 2009 disorderly conduct conviction. FTAs 2016, 2 in 2015, 2013, 2012, and 2008. Level 2 is pre-charge recommendation and nothing further.
This incident happened on July 12th, 2024 at 1773 Meckland Ave in East Point. The victim in this case is a John Robinson. Mr. Robinson told officers he had been home sleeping when he heard someone knocking at his door. The defendant, who is his neighbor, was at his door requesting his vacuum back. Mr. Robinson told the defendant to come back another time because he was asleep. The defendant refused and forced his way inside the home to get the vacuum, where a physical scuffle ensued. The defendant ended up pushing Mr. Robinson into a wall, leaving a bruise on his arm and leg. The state is looking for a signature bond through pretrial. No further contact with the victim of John Robinson. The warrant states that he is his neighbor. If it's not his address, then stay away from 1773 Meckland Avenue. And if it is, stay away. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
If Mr. John Robinson is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Mr. Cook?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 56 years old. He's lived in the Atlanta area for about 15 years. He is a security guard. He denies the allegations. They are neighbors. but I think the incident occurred at the alleged victim's place. So they're probably pretty close together. He would have no problem staying away from that location. He would like his vacuum back, I suspect. But we would be seeking a signature bond through the jail. Nothing further.
Okay. Get $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Mr. Robertson. Stay away from Mr. Robinson's address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Keith.
Next we have position number 19, Mr. Phillips. Oh, you know what? Let's go with hold on. Because Ms. Kim's on the phone. I'm trying to grab somebody that's not hers, but I think the rest of them are hers. But we'll go with 19. Come on. The rest of them are Ms. Kim's anyway.
So is this Ms. Kim's client, Mr. Phillips?
She's finished? Yes, she said.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Phillips. You've been charged in case 24CR004690Y with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
First arrest, level 1 is pretrial recommendation.
Okay. Dunlap?
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident happened yesterday, July 14, 2024, at the Economy Hotel. The address is 4265 Shirley Drive in Atlanta. The victim in this case is Alicia Robertson. Officers responded to a fight call at this location. They were directed to the second floor where the defendant was said to have been assaulting Miss Robinson. A witness, Mr. Brown, called the police after he said the defendant was verbally insulting Miss Robinson and then pinned her to the ground so she was unable to move and slapped her. Defendant and Ms. Robinson are currently living at the hotel and they share 2 minor children, so they all reside there. The state is requesting a signature bond through pretrial, no further contact with the victim, Alicia Robertson, a stay away from the Economy Hotel, a family violence intervention program, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. We weren't able to get in touch with Ms. Robinson, so we're gonna stay with the no further contact.
Okay. Mr. Cook, Ms. Kim, I'm sorry.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is only 19 years young. I believe they have 2 children together. So he strongly want to have a no further violent contact, and yet I was not able to contact Miss Alicia Robertson myself either. So if Your Honor orders, stay away from incident location and no contact with Alicia Robertson, we don't have a strong objection. However, I believe Miss Alicia Robertson is at Mr. Phillips' mother's house, and he stays at Economy Hotel where he has been paying for the room in his name. Anyway, his employment started on June 28, 2024. However, currently he does not have any employment. He actually did 12th grade last semester. He didn't complete, so he's pursuing his GED yet. And because he had to work to make a living for his 2 children to provide housing for them and provide food for them. We would like to request for a signature on bond through pretrial level 1. We just don't have contact with Miss Alicia Robertson, who we want to have a no further violent contact. Thanks.
Okay, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Miss Robinson. He can go to another hotel, I imagine, so stay away from the Economy Hotel, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Phillips.
Can you go one-time law enforcement officer escorted visit to retrieve his personal belongings from Economy Hotel?
Yes, of course, Ms. Kim, and a one-time escort to retrieve any belongings.
And third-party transfer for his 2 children, Your Honor?
They are with Ms. Robinson?
Yes.
Okay, third-party transfer of any minor children for visitation.
Thank you.
Ms. Kim, your
Mr.
client is.
Phillips, I know you have a hands up. I'll be happy to call you at the courtroom to answer all your questions.
This way. We'll go with, position number 20, Mr. Smith.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Smith. You've been charged in case 24 CR 004702C with willful obstruction of law enforcement officers. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
21 cycles, 8 out of Maryland, 13 out of Georgia. Last arrest was January of this year for possession of a Schedule I controlled substance, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. That is an open case 22 CP 214215. A 2015 conviction for burglary out of Maryland. A 2018 conviction for printing, executing, negotiating checks, knowing info is in error or fictitious. A 2018 theft by shoplifting conviction. A 2012 entering auto conviction. A FTA from 2023 out of Georgia and 2014 out of Maryland. Level 3 is pretrial's recommendation. Nothing further.
Ms. Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an incident that occurred on the 11th of July at about 8 p.m. at 2186 Ben Hill Road in East Point. Police were dispatched on a domestic. On scene, Miss Arlana, Arlana Johnson, who was the 911 caller, reported that the father of her child, Mr. Smith, had threatened one of the children. He'd been following her around the residence when she asked him to leave and he refused. Her 17-year-old, who is the victim in this case, Jacari, Gacari, tried to intervene by telling the defendant to stop. And the defendant responded by threatening the 17-year-old, stating, "I will shoot you in the face," multiple times. These threats were witnessed by not only Ms. Johnson, but third-party witnesses, Vernadez Dean and Joshua White.
Ms. Allen, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I want to make sure I have the right person because I have a willful obstruction charge.
I'm getting there.
Oh, okay. So, are there other charges?
There are 2 charges. You know, I was just speaking with
Oh.
the clerk to try to make sure you had both of them. So if you just have an obstruction charge that's based on the defendant refusing to provide his demographic information or his driver's license to police and being verbally disruptive to police while dealing with them. So there is a terroristic threats charge for the threat to the child, or the 17-year-old, I should say.
Okay, and that's the one that I don't have, I
Okay,
guess.
I'll make sure
okay.
you have it. I'll call her
Okay.
again. If we could maybe just put that to the back of the calendar or just make sure when we're done.
Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I wanted to make sure we had the.
No, that's all right. That's pretty much it. You know, de-escalation didn't work. The defendant was disrespectful and obstructive with police. And his threats were corroborated by multiple witnesses. We would agree with the level 3 supervision pretrial, and we'd ask for a $2,000 surety bond, $1,000 on each count.
Okay, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 33 years old, and Ms. Johnson and my client are living together. It has been more than 12 years, I believe, and they do have 6 children together, and he is one of my client's not biological son, however, a son that he has been kind of like fathering. And Your Honor, he's 16 years old, and it is legal here in Georgia to have a corporate punishment for minor children. And he was just talking with a strong words. He denies the allegation of threatening. And Your Honor, we would like to request for signature on bond through pretrial. He is gainfully employed. Starting from Wednesday, he will be selling insurance over the phone, and yet he will be working remotely at home because his major job is to taking care of total of 8 kids, 6 of hers and 2 of his, and total 8. That's about it, Your Honor. Thank you.
Grace, do you have both these charges?
No, sir, we don't, but both charges were in. I don't know what happened to the terroristic threats neither.
I'm
But-
gonna send it over via email now, and I'll copy
Yes.
you, Judge, so you can see it. I know that's not in the system, but I'll also make sure, Miss Grace, you have it as well.
Please
Ma'am.
send it to Ella Williams. That's the person.
I
who-
am. That's who I've
Okay.
been talking to. I'll make
Okay,
sure.
good.
We'll
Okay.
fix it. Don't worry.
And we
I
also
want to make sure that- Did you have something, Ms. Kim?
no, we would like to have that too, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. So for the obstruction, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3. For the terroristic threats, of $4,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3 makes for a total of a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3. No further violent contact with the alleged victims, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond, and 1-day anger awareness. Good luck to you, Mr. Smith.
Thank you.
Who do we have next?
Next we have position number 22, Mr. Williams.
Which one? Good afternoon, Mr. Williams. You've been charged in case 24 CR 004700G with 2 counts of simple battery. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
Only 2 cycles. The last arrest was from, it's showing the last arrest was from the 1st of this month out of Union City for 2 counts of battery and possession of marijuana less than an ounce. So this position just says bind over, so I'm not sure if that's this case. Also has an open case for willful obstruction, simple battery against a police officer, and public drunk, 24 SC 001426. Level 2 is pretrial's recommendation, and nothing further.
Alan? You want?
Can you tell me what number this is? I apologize.
Yeah, you're fine. 22, Mr. Williams.
Got it. This is Mr. Brian Williams. The victim in this case, there are 2 victims in this case. One is Brandon Kemp. The other is Nashawn Butler, Nashhawn. This is a delayed arrest. This is an incident that took place on the 29th of June of this year. Around noon on that day at 5115 Stonewall Tell Road in Union City, police responded to a physical dispute on scene. It was an Amazon warehouse. Victim, Mr. Kemp, was reported that he'd been on break sitting on a bench outside the location and had gone to his vehicle. When out of nowhere, the defendant just approached him and assaulted him. Police were able to review surveillance video from the location that shows the defendant, who appeared intoxicated, suddenly assault Mr. Kemp as he walked to his vehicle. These punches were seen on the video. Another individual, Mr. Nashawn Butler, was identified as a second victim, also reported he'd been on break sitting at a table outside when he saw the defendant walk by. The defendant then approached him and assaulted him. Mr. Butler said maybe he thought the defendant thought maybe he'd said something to him. He'd never spoken to him before. Both men had minor scratches. They both defended themselves. Inside the facility, he was taken into custody, Mr. Williams, and had a bottle of tequila on him. That's of note. It looks like he has minimal history, but they are all dealing with violence. I saw an incident that literally states riot in a penal institution. That looks like it's part of his recent in custody situation. We would say no further contact, stay away from the location at 5115 Stonewall Tell, which is the Amazon location. no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and we'd ask for $1,000 surety bond on each of the charges, Your Honor, given that these are stranger attacks.
Okay, if Mr. Kemp or Mr. Butler, if you're on the line and wish to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, actually, this case was actually presented on Saturday. I believe it was PD Rachel Abden and Jakari Judd was presenting this case to the court, and he received $3,000 signature on bond through pretrial, and the level was, if I believe, okay, level 2 was the bond, Your Honor. And then there were duplicated cases for these battery, which was charged twice, and that was supposed to be NOD'd. So we were wondering and trying to figure out why this is on the pull sheet again, and we have to be here at the first appearance again because he was arrested on July 12th. Actually, the calendar says he has been in the jail for the last 17 days, and yet I have to actually verify exactly what time he was arrested on July 12th. It has been probably more than 72 hours. He was heard on Saturday, Your Honor.
Who was the litigation manager on Saturday, Ms. Kim?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, what was your question?
Who was the litigation manager on Saturday? And
It's strong, Judge, and
Oh,
I'm not aware of anything, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
I also received an email from Michael Jordan confirming that he actually was.
So if the case was reset for some reason off of Saturday and he's already been accused, then we can absolutely adjust that. It shouldn't be a problem. There was a possession of marijuana charge associated with this arrest that I did submit an NOD on already.
Okay.
Okay, so
And if he's already got a bond, then
Yeah, he already has a bond.
so he already has a bond on,
Yes.
and we're sure that it's on this case, these two
I
charges.
received an email from Mr. Michael Jordan saying that Williams was booked on 2 sets of warrants for the same incidents. Accusations were filed on 1 set of warrants, and NOD was supposed to be filed. However, that NOD was not filed yet. That's why he's still in the jail.
well, I submitted one, like I just said, Ms. Kim, this morning, and it has already been charged. So we'll probably end up having to dismiss the second charge duplicate. But the case on the calendar this morning is a duplicate, and the NOD was submitted for the marijuana charge. I think that's associated with this. I
And
did it
that's-
myself.
I'm sorry, Judge, this is Miss Lewis. I'm health assistant. That's correct. This is a duplicate case, and since the case was accused, they have to do the proper procedure. They can't NOD the case. It has to be like null pros because it was already accused prior towards
So let's just make sure, thank you, Ms. Lewis, I appreciate it. Let's just make sure we get it done so this gentleman's not sitting in jail.
Absolutely.
And I'll sign whatever it is that I need to. So, Mr. Williams, we'll make sure that we figure this out, and if you don't have any other holds, you'll be released as soon as the jail can release you. All right, good luck.
Alan, you will be sending over non-pros orders for this.
I'm doing it right now.
Thank you.
You want it? Who do you want me to send it to directly?
Mr. Gray, so I can get it over to the judge at the end of the calendar.
Certainly.
CC me as well, please. Thank you.
So what should we write this down as on the calendar?
It's gonna be null-prost, so you all should get the null-prost orders.
All right, you're good. Next, we have
Buxa.
position number 21, Mr. Stanley.
Good afternoon, Mr. Stanley. You've been charged in case 24 CR 004701J with 2 counts of battery. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
Two cycles, one out of Mississippi, one out of Georgia. Last arrest was from November of 23 out of Gwinnett County for willful obstruction and disorderly conduct. That case appears to be open. 1 FTA for 2019. Level 2 is pretrial's recommendation. Nothing further.
Ellen?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is a incident from the 14th of July at 25 Bennett Street Northwest at 2 p.m. Police reported to the location where they met with victim Mary Bridget, Bridget. She had a visible busted lip and laceration above her eyes. Police officers who were working an extra job at the location were notified that there was an active fight in the parking lot. When they responded to the parking lot area, they spoke with the victim, who reported that she'd been at the location and had started to record a fight between the defendant and his brother. During that situation, Mr. Stanley grabbed the phone from the victim, who's here on Zoom, while she was recording, and punched her with a closed fist, causing a busted lip and a laceration over her eyes. Those are the facts that support our visible harm, battery for both charges, multiple strikes. We did speak with Mrs. Bridget. These people in these parties are unknown to each other. I believe her eye is now swelling shut. We would request no contact, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and $2,000 surety bond on each of the counts. Level 2 also seems appropriate for supervision, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Ms. Bennett. If you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. If you would like to, I'll need for you to raise your hand for me. The other hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down, Ms. Bridget. What would you like to tell the court?
I met the individual, Mr. Stanley. I did not know his name until actually today, when I was contacted by the victim's advocate person via the phone about the hearing today. But I met him 2 hours prior to the incident, and we had been conversating in the establishment earlier. He was acting very aggressive to the bartender earlier that night, which I was able to calm him down. And then when I went to speak to him and his brother, he was acting aggressively. And so I decided not to speak to him and to speak to his brother. And we were all gonna walk back up. And then I noticed that they had begun to argue in the car. And as I pull out my phones to call my friend, because these are her people, he immediately rushed to my phone. And I have a video of him rushing at my phone while he is insinuating gang activities. So at this point, I'm very fearful with him being out on bond. And this has really triggered my PTSD, being a military veteran. I'm currently at the VA now being checked at because I don't know what may be wrong, but this has affected me tremendously, and I had to take off work for this event.
Okay. Thank you for being here this afternoon, Ms. Bridget. We appreciate it. Yes, Ms. Kim.
Yes, my client is only 22 years young, and Your Honor, he's gainfully employed at Amazon.com. However, his income is not that high, so he is qualified for public defender services, and he's been here in Georgia ever since 2019, 5 years here in Georgia, living with his mother. He does have ties to the community. He is still pursuing his GED after stopping his 12th grade. We would like to request for a signature on bond through pretrial level 1, no further contact, and stay away from Eastern location. He has no objection. Thank you.
Okay. For each charge, it will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3, makes for a total of a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3, 5 anger awareness classes, no further contact with Mary Bridget, stay away from the Bennett Street address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you all.
Your Honor, how many anger awareness classes Did I miss that?
Yes, 5.
Okay, thank you.
Judge, what was the total amount of the bond again? I'm sorry.
It's 2,000 for each battery, makes for a total of 4,000 total.
Pretrial, thank you.
Yes,
Pretrial 1,
pre-trial 3.
thank you.
You're welcome. Who do we have next?
Next we have position number 23, Mr. Williams.
Good afternoon, Mr. Williams. You've been charged with in case 24 CR 004699C with 2 counts of battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
Last arrest was from October of 2021 for public indecency and criminal trespass and MARTA. There was no disposition listed for that case. 1 FTA from 2015, and level 1 was pretrial's recommendation. He had a total of 7 cycles and nothing further.
Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. I just sent you an email and copied Ms. Grace. This is actually a transfer to the DA's office. I got an acceptance earlier today after I charged the case. This is actually an aggravated assault strangulation, and there may be other charges. I spoke with Executive Director Kenneth Hutcherson this morning and submitted a transfer order. I'm waiting his signature.
Your Honor, we are already here as a misdemeanor. I think we should proceed as a misdemeanor. And then
That's fine. I'm prepared to argue bond and to talk about the facts. I just wanted to give you the updated information.
Okay, thank
So
you.
this is an incident that occurred on July the 14th. The victim in this case, her name is Kendra McCurdy, McCritty. This incident occurred at 1177 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard. Police were called to the location where the victim reports that she and the defendant are staying together. She reported that, hold on, let me make sure I give you the right facts. She reported being grabbed around the neck, very tightly, being unable to breathe and losing consciousness for almost a minute. The charges in this case that have been accused this morning are 2 counts of battery family violence, 1 for causing visible bruising to the neck of the victim as he grabbed her by the neck. That is going to be a charge that will be upgraded. The other is for punching her in about her face, causing bruising to the face. So a third-party caller reported that a male was heard beating a woman and were concerned that there were shots being fired inside apartment A3 at the location. On scene, police observed the victim standing at the door with the defendant standing behind her. Mr. Williams was detained and they were separated and asked what had been going on. Mrs. McCurdy advised she'd been living at the location for 4 months. And he'd asked her to remove the outfit she was wearing because he purchased it for her, and he would not allow her to leave. He reportedly assaulted her in the apartment, and even at some point called her mother, stating that he was not going to let her leave. He continued to assault her, snatched her phone when she made a call to 911, and struck her in the head with an object. She was observed to have bruises on the right side of her face and her neck, and a laceration on her hand, and blood on her clothing. The scene corroborated her report that there'd been an altercation for some period of time, and there were items strewn all over the location. So we would be asking for a $4,000 surety bond on each of the battery family violence charges, Your Honor. And no contact, stay away from the location at 1177 Joseph E. Boone. And I believe that was apartment 3. Yes, A3, excuse me. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And anger management. Thank you.
Okay. If Ms. McCready is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 31 years old. He was born and raised here in Georgia, and he is gainfully employed as a cook. He's been working, and Your Honor, he also pays for child support for 2 children, 11 and 8 years old. He denies the allegation, and Your Honor, that place 1177 Joseph is his place in his name. She does not reside there. They do not have a child together. So he has no objection to have no contact as long as he can return to his place. He completed up to 11th grade, and he's still pursuing GED. Your Honor, we would like to request for a signature on bond through pretrial level 1. He does have a foreign county hold, so he's not going anywhere. He will be released to DeKalb County, and we only had one simple battery charge that was at Odyssey, so I guess another one was added.
Yes.
All right. Yes. Signature on bond through pretrial is what we would like to request for. Thank you.
Okay, for each charge, it'll be a $1,500 good bond, make for a total of a $3,000 good bond. No further contact with Kendra McCready. He can go to the Joseph E. Boone Boulevard address on with law enforcement. If Miss McCready is not there, he can stay there. If she is there, he'll necessarily have to find another place to reside. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Williams.
Thank you.
Next, we have position number 25, Mr. Wright.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wright. You've been charged in case 24 CR 004697B with no insurance, fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer, reckless driving, and failure to exercise due care. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
One prior arrest from July 9th of this year out of Clayton County for 3 counts of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. That case appears to be open. Give me one moment. And level 1 was free trial's recommendation and nothing further.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, who's presenting for the state?
That's me, Your Honor.
Okay.
Double work today. Sorry, I'm multitasking.
You're fine, Ms. Allen.
This is Mr. Wright.
Yes, position number 25.
Mr. Wright was pulled over. A traffic stop was initiated because he was discovered to have no insurance. While he was pulled over and going through his documents to provide information to police, he suddenly took off. This is the area off Godby Road. Specifically, the warrant states "5084 Old National Highway." This was at actually on April the 4th of 2024, so a delayed arrest. The defendant fled while police were waiting for the wrecker to come and tow his truck. He fled the location at a high rate of speed, merging into traffic, and disregarding the safety of other drivers, Your Honor. He was found to have no insurance. Warrants were obtained. And the charge is reckless driving and failure to exercise due care when he fled recklessly at a high rate of speed into traffic in that area, Godby Road and Old National Highway. We did submit an NOD for failure to yield the right-of-way turn, so we're just moving forward with 4 counts this morning, Your Honor, or this afternoon, Your Honor. We'd follow pretrial's recommendation. This is a driving situation, although it does put the public at danger. We'd ask for a total $3,000 surety bond.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 21 years young, and he is gainfully employed at Walmart. He does online digital shopping, and Your Honor, he was born and raised here in Georgia. He graduated from high school. He has a strong ties to the community, and this is a driving offenses, and he even denies the allegation. Indeed, he does have autism, so it kind of causes a lot of misunderstanding. He even had citations that he didn't run away from the incident. He thought he was all done. He does not have insurance. However, everything else he denies, and he does have insurance now. It happened on April 9, 2024. This is July. We would like to request for a signature on bond through pretrial or jail.
Okay, for the no insurance, a $500 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the fleeing, a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the reckless, a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the failure to exercise due care, a $500 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Wright.
Thank you.
Your Honor, about Mr. Bacon, position number 1. We try to get his medical records, and indeed he was released from Grady Hospital yesterday. All the medical records and discharge paper is held at the property at the Fulton County Jail, and we were wondering if we can get copies of that through maybe jail records.
Okay, however you need to get the copies, Ms. Kim, I'm not sure how to advise you.
I do not know. That's why I was asking if we can have authority to get the copies from officers who can help us.
Who do you need to get authority from?
Mr. Bacon, did you ask the jail officer?
I'm not speaking up. Yes, ma'am. I was having a question on that. Actually, since I've been sick, Your Honor, Miss Harris is the reason why she was my caretaker to take me back and forth to these MRIs and my surgeries. And I have the paperwork here. I have a copy that's in my property. Ms. Harris also has the information of everything because she's been my caretaker to take care of me since then. And they have a copy with the nurses. So
okay, so this is what I need, Mr. Bacon. It's my understanding the representation that was made was that you have an upcoming surgery at some point in the very near future. If that is the case, if you have verification of that of a surgery date that you can show the court, I might reconsider the bond amount in the case.
It's tomorrow, Your Honor. It's literally tomorrow. Today was my checkup, and tomorrow is when I go in tomorrow at 10 o'clock. that's.
All right, how do you plan on getting to the hospital, Mr. Bacon?
Honestly, it was through Miss Harris. Excuse me, I'm getting emotional. But I can have like my mother. My mother, she's at home. If I have to have her or my niece do it, that's who will be able to take me there. They live in Stone Mountain, where I reside at, and that's.
Okay, well, I don't want you to miss your surgery, Mr. Bacon. Are you back with me? This was your case, Ms. Desiano?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. My biggest concern was that you'd violated my previous order, Mr. Bacon. And given that you violated that order, I normally give people chances until they show me that they're not trustworthy and they do something that violates a direct order from me. It wasn't even from another judge. It was from me. So listen to me. Just listen to me. You don't have to say anything. I'm gonna, at this point in time, because I see that you're injured, I know that you have been to Grady. You're telling me that you have surgery tomorrow. I don't want to obstruct that surgery. I want you to have it. As such, the recommendation from pretrial previously was level 3. I'm going to give you a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3 with all of the other conditions on that bond, Ms. Grace, that I initially had.
Okay, Judge. And it's 5,000, correct?
Yes, 5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3. So I see that you're injured, Mr. Bacon. I'm taking you at your word. I wish you the best in your surgery tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right. Who do we have next?
We have the position number 16. They waived their appearance.
Okay, and what about position number 9?
Hold on. Position number 9. Oh, they're over at South Annex. I don't know if they logged on.
Your Honor, I was told that,
They're not on.
oh, I was told that it was gonna be a medical reset, and I am planning to be there on 8 a.m. tomorrow because of a condition that they cannot do over the phone. They cannot do over the somebody has to actually come into the cell to interview her. So I will be there tomorrow, 8 a.m. to interview in person.
And we're talking about position number 9, Carlos Guardado. Ms. Kim?
Yes, I believe so. That's my client.
That's your client? So you want
Yes.
this reset? You want this reset until tomorrow?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so position number 9 will be reset until 7/16.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, and I see a Tiffany Guardado on the line. I see you there with this, ma'am. This case is being reset until tomorrow, so you're free to join us tomorrow if you choose to. All right, so let's go to the waiver.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Are we talking position number 9? Are we talking about Carlos Guardado?
Yes, it's my understanding.
And he's a medical reset?
He's a reset because Ms. Kim has not had the opportunity to speak with him.
Okay.
Is that right, Ms. Kim?
Judge, they're not gonna
Yes.
they're not gonna be a medical reset. That's Cook client. That person is over there at South Annex. So I'm gonna call South Annex and tell them to come on Zoom.
Okay, Mr. Cook, are you on with me?
I am here, so I don't, so we've got two different, I mean, is it a medical reset or does he have a medical?
No. Let you start from the beginning, okay?
Okay.
I'm calling Carlos Guardado. Who represents him?
Let me check my notes.
I believe it's supposed to be.
That's not one I would have represented, Your Honor.
Okay,
Sorry.
you have or have not?
I have not, no.
Okay, so courtroom 2, Mr. Cook is saying that he doesn't represent Mr. Guardado, and Ms. Kim is saying that she does represent him but needs time to interview him.
We're trying to get them on the line now. We're
Okay.
calling South Annex right now, trying to get.
Okay, all right, so we'll put you in a breakout room, Ms. Kim, if he comes on.
Sure. And I believe I could have made a mistake, Your Honor. I think I was confused with clients at ACDC. I believe they are Emily Ouellet. No, that's not it. Sherarita Pan, position number 18, probably. We had so many today, I apologize. So that there are clients that I have to go to ACDC who's on calendar today, but we have to reset to tomorrow.
Well, I know we've gone through those, Miss
Okay.
Miss Kim. Position
Position
7.
17 and 18.
Okay,
Right.
got it.
For medical.
Thank you.
Okay, so while we're waiting on getting those online, let's go ahead and do the waiver, which is position number 16. Corey Lewis, who is who's charged in case 24 CR 004696E with theft by deception and criminal trespass. Does he have a history, Ms. Roberts?
Yes, 18 cycles. Last arrest was from April 2023 for burglary out of Henry County. That does appear to be open. A 2023 conviction for unauthorized possession of prohibited item by inmate. A 2019 conviction for theft by taking a willful obstruction. 2019 conviction for possession of marijuana less than an ounce. 2014 conviction for theft by shoplifting, simple battery, and giving false name. And then a 2013 conviction for robbery. FTAs 2014, 2015, 2016, 2020. Level 3 was pretrial recommendation.
Miss Lewis, you don't have his open cases currently? This is Corey Lewis, correct?
Yes. Do you have his open cases, Ms. Dunlap?
Give me 1 second.
He came in with warrants for multiple felonies as well, so they may have unindicted cases that are open in the DA's office.
Okay.
I believe the documents for this filing were 95 pages, maybe 3 or 4 of which pertain to misdemeanors in our office.
All right, give me 1 second.
Judge Morrow, do you want me to read off those open cases?
Say it again, Ms. Roberts, I'm sorry.
I said, would you like for me to read off those open cases? I think they're all in felony today, which is why I didn't have them.
Yeah, they are. I just found them too, but you could go ahead.
Okay,
Um,
yes.
Theft by taking felony 24 PI 005077. Offense date was from December of 23. 24 PI 005076. That is for 6 counts of financial transaction card fraud with an offense date from April of 2024. 24 PI 005075 for criminal trespass and financial transaction card fraud with an offense date from September of 2023. 24 PI 005074 aggravated assault and aggravated battery with an offense date from October of 2023. 24 PI 005073 burglary, computer theft, possession of a firearm during the commission possession of a firearm by convicted felon, theft by taking, criminal attempt to commit a misdemeanor, criminal trespasses. Criminal trespass, those offense dates are September of 23. And also with this case is simple assault, simple battery with the offense date of October of 2023. And he has 1, 3, 4, 5 probation violation cases open as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yes, Mr. Lynn.
Your Honor. So these two incidents that we have stemmed from December 1st, 2023 at 410 4th Street, which is Georgia Institute of Technology. The victim in this case is a Sharice Shetty. Apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. Officers responded to a theft by deception call. The defendant approached Ms. Shetty and asked to use her cell phone, and then transferred himself $225 from her Venmo account. The criminal trespass is from Georgia Institute of Technology. It looks like some of these were transferred to felony court, but he's been on several college campuses that he wasn't supposed to be on. And it looks like, sorry, 1 second. Yeah, so with giving that and his open charges currently not in this court, obviously, in felony court. The state is looking for a $4,000 surety bond. No further contact with the victim is Sharice Shetty. A stay away from Georgia Institute of Technology, located at 410 4th Street. An anti-theft course, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
Yes, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 30 years young. He was born and raised here in Georgia. He denies the allegation. He does not know those defendants, and he does not recall any of these incidents. He does have, anyway, bigger fishes to fry at the felony court. I would like to request for a signature on bond through pretrial level 1. Ever since his mother passed away from cancer when he was 9th grade, he has been struggling financially. He does not have a GED, but he wants to pursue, and he does have a severe disability. And I am actually getting to see if I can get a copies of doctor's note from ACDC where he had some serious diagnosis. We may be able to write compelling story about that. So he does need some kind of he's gonna be in the jail for a long, long time, Your Honor. We would like to request for a signature on bond for these charges. Thanks.
Okay, for the theft, a $750 good bond. For the trespass, a $250 good bond, makes for a total of $1,000 good bond. Stay away from Georgia Tech campus, no further contact with Ms. Shetty, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Okay. So let's see, are we still waiting on login for position number 9?
South Annex.
Any update on getting Mr. Guardado?
We're still waiting for them to log on.
Okay.
Your Honor, could we, I'm sorry, Ms. Kim, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I just want to verify if we need Spanish interpreter or not, because sometimes, now we are facing the situation we cannot order unless it is completely verified.
Who are you asking, Ms. Kim?
Officer who
I'm not sure. We had no
oh,
we had no communication with
I spoke with his mother earlier and she spoke English.
okay, no problem.
All right, so while we're waiting for that, Ms. Grace, I believe we're at the end of the calendar. Can we go over it? So that
Your Honor, could we quickly revisit a position 10, Portia Jackson? I apologize, but I had something in my notes I didn't. I mean, she was actually arrested by the East Point police at 2 a.m. 7/12. So this would be a 17 well, 1726-4, I think is the code. 72 hours. She got a signature bond level 2. We would be asking for that to be changed to a jail.
Okay, she's already gotten a signature bond, so I'm just gonna leave it as a signature bond as it is.
Okay,
Mr. Clerk.
thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Grace, whenever you're ready for us.
Okay, Ms. Dunlap, can you please look at your chat for me? Okay, Judge, I'm ready. Position number 1, it's a 5,000 pretrial level 3. Position number 2 is $1,000 good bond. Position number 3 is a 2,000 pretrial. Position number 4 is a 3,000 pretrial. Position number 5 is a 3,000 pretrial level 3. Position number 6 is a 2,000 pretrial. Position number 7 is a 3,000 pretrial. Position number 8 is a 2,000 pretrial. Position number 9, we are holding on. Position number 10 is a 3,000 pretrial level 2. Position number 11 is 1,000 SOB jail. Position number 12 is a 3,000 pretrial. Position number 13 is a 3,000 SOB through the jail. Position number 14 is a 3,000 pretrial. Position number 15 is a 2,000 pretrial. Position number 16 is $1,000 good bond. Position number 17 and 18 are reset to tomorrow SEA calendar. Position number 19 is 2,000 pretrial. Position number 20 is a 5,000 pretrial level 3. Position number 21 is a 4,000 pretrial level 3. Position number 22 would be NARPROS. Position number 23 is a 3,000 good bond. Position number 24 is a $1,500 good bond. And position number 25 is a 3,000 pretrial. Any questions, concerns?
Okay, if not, I guess we will be in recess until, we are joined by Mr. Gordado. And courtroom 2, if you'll just let someone over there know that we're done with the calendar, we're just waiting on them.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, South Annex just logged on.
May I
Okay, Ms.
please have a breakout room? I have not been able to talk to. I apologize.
Okay, so if
Yes.
we can, South Annex and Ms. Kim into a breakout room, please.
Hey, you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, are you there, Mr. Godardo? Can you hear us?
Yes, he is.
Okay, so we're gonna place you all into a breakout room so that Ms. Kim can discuss this case with them.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm ready, Your Honor.
Okay. Let me get them out of the breakout room. Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Gardardo. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. We have offered you the advice of the Public Defender's Office today if you choose to utilize their services. Mr. Guardado, you've been charged in case 24 CR 004695B with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Roberts?
First arrest, level 1 is pretrial recommendation with the parental cosigner. And nothing
Okay.
further.
Thank you, Ms. Allen.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an incident that occurred on the 13th of July at 1126 Jasmine Parkway in Alpharetta. The mother of this young man, Tiffany Guardado, who was with us earlier, reported that she and her son have had some issues over the last few months with his behavior. He is a high school student. He expressed on scene to police that he felt like he wasn't being treated very well. She left for a period of time after having back and forth with him about moving a speaker from the porch into his room. He had returned that, I believe. That's something he told the police. When she returned home to the location, a 50-inch flat screen TV had been smashed. The defendant admitted striking it multiple times and damaging it. The charge in this case is criminal trespass based on damage to the property. We have been in touch with the mom in this case. Let me see. Are there any other notes? I don't think so. She confirmed the events in the warrant, that this is the first time he's damaged property in the home. She's okay with him returning to the residence, but obviously we'd like no violence, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons in a curfew, and that he remain enrolled in school.
Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 17 years young and he is a rising senior in high school. He's a good student and he is very good at mathematics and he intends to be a mechanic to repair cars. Your Honor, he's very diligent. He also works at Chipotle Boosters Ice Cream during the summertime, but usually he's focusing on the school and he will be returning to school this coming August. Your Honor, we would like him to get a signature on bond through pretrial level 1, Tiffany Guardado as a co-signer.
Fortunately, I'll let Ms. Guardado go, but if either you, Ms. Kim, or someone from the solicitor's office could contact her and let her know that she will need to sign him out. It'll be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, release to his mother, Tiffany Guardado. No further violent contact with her. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. A curfew of 9 p.m. in the evening to 6 a.m. And I think that covers it. Okay.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, Mr. Guardado. Okay. All right. Thank you all. I will, if there's nothing further, I'll see you all tomorrow.
And
Have a
we'll
good
reach out and let her know.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Grace, I will sign everything when you get it to me.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.